Hello, everyone. I just wanted to do a quick intro to this latest podcast episode. I recorded it on Monday. This is Wednesday when we are releasing it. And I did a segment on the UnitedHealthcare CEO's killing. And at the time that I was recording, no one had been captured yet. So I was talking about that and the mysteries around all of it. But since my recording, obviously someone has been arrested and is in custody. And now we know even more so, it appears that this killing was done as some sort of message against insurance companies. And that's what I am talking about more in the actual episode that you're about ready to listen to or watch. It just highlights that insurance companies are increasingly under attack for their practices. And it's still, to me, it's mind blowing that people are going to such drastic measures to retaliate against insurance companies. And so, anyway, I hope you enjoy the episode. I just wanted to do a quick update since things have rapidly changed in this case, but my message stays the same. I talk about insurance company practices and this everything surrounding this latest incident with the UnitedHealthcare CEO. So I hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Injury Law Pod. I am your host, Eric Bartlett, 28-year personal injury lawyer, and this is the podcast where we talk about all things personal injury law related. And sometimes those relations are a little bit farther out where we might not exactly think about personal injury law, but something does actually affect what I do in my world. And on today's episode, we've got two current events that we're going to talk about. Number one is the assassination of the UnitedHealthcare CEO. And what does it mean? Why are people so angry at insurance companies? And then also, we're going to talk about Teslas catching fire. Are EVs more dangerous than traditional gas-powered cars? There's been a lot of news recently about some accidents where the Teslas have caught fire, the occupants have been killed. And so it raises the question, are these electric vehicles more likely to catch fire in an accident and seriously injure or kill their occupants? Or are these just being highlighted in the news? So first up, let's talk about this CEO's killing. This is pretty wild stuff. It's captured a lot of attention, most notably because the killing was captured on video. And so we watched something that looked like it was straight out of a movie. Looked like an assassin with a gun, with a silencer, in very meticulous, calculated manner, approached this CEO from behind and fatally shot him on a sidewalk in New York. There was even at least one witness right there, and that did not stop this person. And this person appeared to have a plan to escape and left the scene again very calmly, did not run, walked away, got on a bike, went into Central Park, dropped his stuff, and has disappeared at the moment. The authorities say they believe they know who it is because of what is a head scratcher, right? That the assassin was in a Starbucks getting coffee right before this. There's video of that. He actually revealed his face at a hostel that he was staying at leading up to this incident. He has appeared to have arrived in New York around the 24th of November. And I guess because the front clerk asked him to remove his mask so that she could confirm it was the same person as on the ID that he presented, even though apparently that was a fake ID. We have a really good look at this person's face. And as I record this, a manhunt is underway. They're trying to find this guy. And from all of the evidence that we know from the public eye, it appears this was something done in some act of retribution against either UnitedHealthcare or maybe insurance companies as a whole. We know that the shell casings that were found at the scene, several of them had writing on them, which was deny, defend, depose, which potentially references criticisms of the insurance industry's practices, which I can tell you, these things are all true. An insurance company's job, as I've talked about in episodes in the past, is to deny claims where they can, defend those aggressively because they don't want to pay out any more than they have to. They are for-profit businesses, and the only way that they're going to make money is by not paying claims, or certainly not paying large amounts on claims. And then depose would be, again, I believe, part of the defending process, taking depositions, things of that nature. In my world, again, we obviously run into this all the time with insurance companies, and it's the reason that I have a job. So that's the way they operate. And in this particular instance, we're dealing with a healthcare insurance company. And the question is, is this person somebody that was personally aggrieved by UnitedHealthcare? Or is this some symbolic act for a general grievance against insurance companies? Then there's bigger questions about, was this guy hired? Was he put in place to commit this act as some part of a larger movement? Again, there's a lot of questions that exist right now. I actually saw somebody talking about whether the person that actually did the shooting was somebody that may have been set up by somebody else, or actually what I should say is not the person that actually did the shooting, but how about the person that was captured on video? Was this somebody that was set up, paid to stay at the hostel, make an appearance at Starbucks to throw off authorities for the real killer in this matter? Again, lots of crazy questions. We also have another wrinkle. Everything I see is when a spouse is killed, the other spouse is always the primary suspect initially. And we know that the wife of the CEO, she had a separate house. They lived in separate houses, not very far from each other. So they were obviously separated. So I know there's going to be a question there in the authorities' minds of, was this something that was set up by the spouse? Make it look like something else? Again, we just don't know. Like I say, as I record this, we are in the middle of a manhunt. Believe that the authorities have offered $60,000 for information leading to this suspect's arrest and conviction. And currently, this person is on the run. And it's interesting because I have seen in my world where insurance companies have actually tightened up security due to threats and incidents. For example, USAA has now gone to where they only reveal the first name of their insurance adjusters. So when you call them or you interact with them, you're only going to get a first name of an insurance adjuster. There was apparently an incident down in Texas where they are, and that caused them to take some measures to try to protect the identity of their insurance adjusters. So honestly, the hate of insurance companies is real. And whether it's healthcare, whether it's an injury claim or something like that, the actions of insurance companies affect real people. And according to what is out there, this UnitedHealthcare CEO had apparently enacted some type of an AI program that was automatically denying claims of sick people. And they were apparently denying 1 out of 3 claims. And so there's a lot of upset people. You're paying for that health insurance, and then the health insurance is finding a way to try to get out of the responsibility of covering medical bills, authorizing medical treatment. And so it's really scary to think somebody might take a drastic step and kill somebody over this. I mean, we should all take pause, and we should think about the fact that people are so upset and so mad at insurance companies that they would do such a drastic thing. But it's out there and it's happening. And insurance companies, I'm not sure what they need to do to better their standing in the world. I do know they could obviously start handling claims on a much fairer basis, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. I've been doing this for nearly 30 years, and this is the way it goes. Insurance companies, again, they're there to make money. And so they're going to do everything they can to increase profits for shareholders. And in order to do that, they have to take premiums in, and then they have to pay out as little as they have to maximize the profit margin. So it's going to be really interesting to see where this goes, what the true motive was. Another interesting part of this I forgot to mention is that supposedly in this backpack that this assassin had, there was monopoly money found. And one thinking is that he was going to spread this monopoly money over the slain CEO's body. And again, just further evidence that this was somehow motivated by a hate for either UnitedHealthcare or the insurance company industry in general. This happened right outside the UnitedHealthcare investors meeting, which, by the way, I do believe went on ahead. They didn't postpone it after this, which is interesting. That's what I've heard. So true or not, I'm not sure, but if so, that's pretty crazy. So anyway, that's one of our big news stories currently underway with insurance companies. And so it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. Okay, let's look at Teslas and electric vehicles and figure out, are these things really more likely to cause fires when they're involved in accidents? And we've had literally within just the last 3-4 months here, really 3 months, we've had 4 incidents in the news where a Tesla has caught fire after an accident. and seriously hurt or killed the occupants that were in there. And just going from September in Sarasota, Florida, a Tesla caught fire in a garage after being exposed to salt water flooding from Hurricane Helene. And that was not obviously an accident related, but this obviously caused major damage. I don't think anyone was killed in that. In Toronto, Canada, in October, a Tesla Model Y crashed into a guardrail and caught fire, and that killed all 4 of its occupants. Reports suggest that the vehicle's electronic door mechanisms may have malfunctioned, trapping occupants inside. And then in San Francisco, in late November, a Tesla Cybertruck crashed and burst into flames, resulting in the deaths of 3 recent high school graduates. It appears that the Tesla was speeding right before the crash, but again, it ended up catching fire and burning everyone in the vehicle. And then finally in New York, here in December, a speeding Tesla collided with a rock barrier, igniting a fire that killed both of the occupants of that vehicle. And again, firefighters noted that the compromised lithium-ion battery contributed to the intensity of the fire. What do we think about this? Are these electric vehicles more likely, more dangerous to catch fire when there's an incident, either involving an accident or otherwise? One of the problems is these lithium-ion batteries are notably difficult to extinguish due to the potential for what they call thermal runaway. And basically, that's just these things get hot, and when they do catch fire, they're very hot fires, very difficult to put out. Traditional firefighting methods may be less effective, and substantial amounts of water often required. And there's something I saw out there that extinguishing a Tesla semi fire in California. So one of their semi trucks that they're working on developing, it necessitated over 50,000 gallons of water to put out that fire. But here's the good news. If you're an electric vehicle fan and you have one, and you're seeing these news stories and you're worried. So studies indicate that EVs actually have a lower rate of fires compared to gasoline powered vehicles. And realistically, if you think about it, if you have a vehicle that has gasoline, a big tank of gasoline in it, gasoline is highly flammable. And so catching fire is going to be a very realistic situation if a gasoline powered vehicle is involved in an accident. And we've certainly seen our share of those situations over the years where a vehicle is involved in some type of an accident and catches fire, a gasoline powered vehicle. But I think the big thing is, for whatever reason, the EV fires are right now making the news, and they do present unique challenges due to the nature of the lithium ion batteries. There's no question that they burn very hot. And it sounds like, at least with Teslas, and you got to remember, there's a lot of different EV vehicles out there. Tesla is just a name that everybody certainly associates with electric vehicles because they were the first to really make them mass produced and take off with them. But because of these lithium ion batteries, they definitely can create very hot fires. And then with the Teslas and possibly other electric vehicles, you do have some of these vehicles where everything's electric. And so if the doors, if the electronic mechanisms that are supposed to open the doors fail, I know Teslas have a manual release, especially if it's a teenager or somebody driving the car, have they been shown that? And in an emergency, the car's on fire, who knows what people are thinking? Are they thinking about, I know how to get out of this vehicle? I know the Teslas In the back seats, the manual release is harder to find. It's in the door, it's under a pad. And so all these things can contribute to people being burned up when these cars catch fire. It's interesting to note that Tesla has implemented various safety measures, including software updates and design modifications to reduce the risk. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has conducted investigations into Tesla's fires, and that has led to design changes such as the addition of titanium underbody shields to protect batteries from road debris so that the batteries aren't punctured and create or catch fire. And again, Teslas are considered generally a safe vehicle, but the unique challenges that are associated with lithium ion battery fires necessitate specialized firefighting techniques and ongoing safety evaluation. I saw that a very recent study with data from Tesla and the National Fire Protection Association, which is a nonprofit association, shows that Tesla vehicles are 1/8 as likely to catch fire compared to the average car. And so, again, the risk is really low. This is what's making news. Again, they always say, if it bleeds, it leads. And so right now we're just hearing about a lot of electric vehicle fires, but I know from my professional experience, there are many gas powered vehicle fires that lead to injury and death. So take heart if you have an electric vehicle or you're interested in one, you're certainly not at any greater risk of having a fire related issue with that vehicle. And overall, you're at a lower risk. I hope you found this episode of the podcast useful and helpful. And if you got anything, whether you're dealing with an insurance company or you have something involving an electric vehicle, you can always reach out to us. We're glad to answer questions, help you as we can. You can reach us at 816-400-4878 or find us at our website, northlandinjurylaw.com. Until next time, be safe, be well.